Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to learn a very beautiful and an interesting story by Leo Tolstoy. The name of the lesson is How Much Land Does a Man Need? This story is about a farmer named Pahom who believes that if he owns enough land, he will never have to fear anything, not even the devil. But Tolstoy beautifully shows how human greed can blind us, make us restless, and finally destroy the very happiness we search for. Let's dive into this lesson and see the story step by step and understand what Tolstoy wanted us to learn. The story begins with two sisters talking about their lives. One lives in a city surrounded by wealth and luxury. She has fine clothes, servants, and rich food. She proudly says that her life is better because she doesn't have to struggle like poor people in villages. The other sister lives in the countryside. She smiles gently and says, Yes, we may not have much money, but we live peacefully. We grow our own food, breathe fresh air, and live close to the nature. Her husband Pahom overhears this conversation. He feels proud and slightly offended when he hears the city sister looking down upon villagers with pride. With pride, he says, if I had enough land, I would not be afraid of even the devil himself. These words become very important because, according to the story, the devil was nearby listening, and he decides to test Pahom's pride. A few weeks later, Pahom gets a chance to buy a small piece of land near his village. He is very happy, he works hard, grows crop, and earns well. At first, his life becomes peaceful and comfortable. But soon, problems begin. His neighbor's animals enter his fields and spoil his crops. He becomes angry and takes them to court. He starts worrying all the time about fences, rules, and boundaries. The simple, kind man slowly changes. Now all he thinks about is land, how much he owns, and how much he can get more. Tolstoy shows that greed doesn't always come suddenly. It grows quietly inside us. What began as a dream for comfort turns into hunger for more and more. Pahom hears about a fertile land across Volga River. The soil there is said to be rich and black, perfect for crops. He sells what he has and moves there with his family. At first, everything seems wonderful new land, new opportunities. But once again, his heart is not satisfied. No matter how much land he gets, he keeps thinking, if I had just a little more, I could rest. I would finally be happy. But happiness never comes. One day, a traveler visits his village and tells him about a distant tribe called Bashkirs. He says the Bashkirs have a lot of land, wide open fields, and green meadows. They are simple people. You can get land there for almost nothing. Pahom is excited and decides to go. When Pahom reaches the Bashkirs, he is amazed. They welcome him warmly with milk, tea, and food. He tells them he wants to buy land. They smile and agree, but their rule is very unusual. One elder says, For 1,000 rubles, you can have as much land as you can walk around in one day from sunrise to sunset. But remember, you must come back to the same starting point before the sun sets. If you fail, you lose your money and the land. Pahom thinks this is the best deal he has ever heard. He can already imagine endless fields, forests, and rivers, all this, all this land as his. That night he can hardly sleep. He dreams of rich and fame but also sees the devil laughing at him. Still, in the morning, he wakes up early, confident, and eager to begin. At sunrise, Pahom starts his walk. He carries food, water, and a spade to mark the land. The air is fresh and feels strong. He walks quickly, driving small stakes into the ground to mark his boundaries. He keeps saying to himself, A little more won't hurt. I will just go till that hill and then a little further. Every few minutes he decides to stretch the boundary. By noon the sun is hot, his legs ache, his throat burns, but his greed pushes him forward. He thinks, if I stop now, I will regret not having more land. As the day goes on, the land seems endless. Finally, when the sun begins to set, Pahom realizes how far he has gone. Fear grips his heart. He must return before the sun disappears. He starts running. His chest burns. His heart beats wildly. His heart is pounding, but he doesn't stop. Sweat pours down his face. The Bashkirs are waiting on the hill, shouting and waving for him to hurry. With every step, he feels his life is slipping away. At last, just as the sun touches the horizon, Pahom reaches the starting point and falls to the ground, completely exhausted. When the Bashkirs run to him, they find he is dead. The Bashkirs dig a grave for him, 6 feet long from head to heel. Tolstoy ends the story with these haunting words: 6 feet from his head to his heels was all the land he needed. Through this beautiful and simple, powerful story, Tolstoy teaches us that greed has no end. The more we get, the more we want. Pahom thought land would bring him peace and happiness, but it only brought worry, pride, and death. Real happiness doesn't come from owning more things, it comes from being content and thankful for what we already have. As Tolstoy reminds us, a man truly owns only as much land as he needs to rest in after he dies. Thank you for listening, students, to this story. I hope you understood the deep message behind Tolstoy's words. If you like this explanation, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more story explanations from your syllabus. See you in the next video, and remember, peace is worth more than possessions.